What's up? What's up? It is the infamous D. Killer, wanted in 50 states. And then we got the professor, of course, the professor of nothing, Mr. Cat Lover himself. What's up, man? How you been?
Doing good, and I'm glad the preseason is all over, and now we had week 0 of college football, and now we don't have any more irrelevant weeks of football.
Exactly.
Players drafted, and then they had a few free agents, and then the crazy part is he had 6 offensive linemen go to the NFL. You only start 5 offensive linemen, and they got 6.
Yeah. Exactly.
And then they lost. They lost Hardball. They lost whoever else.
Yeah.
They took.
To be fair, they start off with a cupcake, so that's pretty good. That's the way you want to start off your season. They got the
week
the
2's
Fresno State Chihuahuas as a warm-up game. They got what did they call them? The yelping Chihuahuas there in Fresno?
They're the Chihuahuas.
The yelping Chihuahuas, I believe. No offense to any Fresno State fans out there, to the Dr. Z, or anybody watching the show, but you can't be afraid of this Fresno State team. They weren't very good last year, and
I think they won their conference last year.
Were they in the 3-way tie? It was San Jose State, Boise State, and was Fresno State the third one?
I don't know. Or maybe they won it the year before. They were pretty close.
They were pretty irrelevant last year, weren't they?
They had this new quarterback who did all right, and then they lost a whole bunch of people, and then obviously they lost the one guy that they had he was their coach, and then he went to Washington, and then he went to DeBoer.
Yeah. Well, I'm guessing that the whole, what is it, the WAC or is it the WAC?
It used to be the WAC. It's the Mountain West now.
Oh, it's the Mountain West. The whole Mountain West was kind of irrelevant last year. Air Force was undefeated, and then they came back to earth, something like that, right?
Yeah, the whole problem is just in college football in general, all these schools, I think they're gonna get screwed with the NIL, because if you're at Fresno, you're at Boise, you're at San Jose State or Utah State, and a Bama or a Michigan's we'll pay you $1 million, come transfer over here.
Yeah.
Well, why wouldn't you do that?
Yeah, well, that actually gives some of these lower teams a really good chance, go all in on one of these players, one of these 5-star recruits, and then you got a heck of a team. In fact, the Rainbow Warriors are minus 38 against whoever the heck they're playing. They're playing someone.
Rainbow Warriors, who the Hawaii?
Yeah, Hawaii. I guess they won that game. They were minus 38 this last, what was it, Saturday, or was it Friday that they had week 0?
Well, this past week, all the underdogs, they covered, because, what is it, Florida State, they played, Georgia Tech. They were, double-digit favorites. And,
yeah, it was,
they won upright. And then it was New Mexico State versus, I don't know what team they played. It was an FCS school or whatever. And the other team, they won straight up. They had
oh, wow.
They had a 17-point fourth quarter comeback.
Well, let me pull up the scores of last week. But I guess what you're saying is a lot of upsets we're going to see this year is what you're feeling right now.
Oh, well, so far, obviously it's week 0, but all the if you bet the underdogs, just spread wise, you You killed it.
Oh man, that's what I like to hear. Oh wow, they're not
Yeah, it
even
was.
showing me week 0.
Yeah, it was. It was New Mexico. They were up. They were up like double digits going into the fourth, and I think the other team scored 17 straight points in the fourth, and they got the win. And it was an upset. They were. I'm assuming they were double digit underdogs, just like
Yeah.
uh, just like Georgia Tech was.
Well, I know Hawaii was minus 38 against Delaware State, and they only scored 35 points. So if Delaware State didn't score anything, you're still not going to cover that. So obviously,
Yeah,
that's another
Montana
upset.
State. Montana State beat. They
New
beat
Mexico.
New Mexico.
Well, Montana State is notoriously good as they're FCS, right?
Uh, I believe they're I believe they're FCS. Yeah,
Yeah. So as a FCS team, it's like North Dakota State. They're gonna be really good no matter what. Uh, what are those other teams? You got North Dakota State, and then I think there's like North Dakota, and then you got like the
well,
South Dakotas.
the problem is you're playing at New Mexico, so usually what they do is like they pay like one of those like schools like, hey, come to our school, we'll pay you some money, and we'll kick your ass. The problem is
Yes.
like, oh, you pay them and they kick your ass. That
Yeah,
doesn't look
yeah.
really good.
No, that's gonna be a big problem for these teams if they want to get that money. I mean, because it's all
Yeah,
about the money, really. Yeah. So New Mexico was plus four. Montana State was plus 14. No, you're wrong, dude. You're wrong. Montana State was minus 14.
they were the favorite at New
Montana State
Mexico. Jesus.
was the favorite. Jeez Louise. And they probably paid them. Holy smokes.
Yeah, because I saw New Mexico play last year when they played Reno. When they played Nevada, and
Okay.
they
Yeah.
lost, and they didn't look that good. But geez, to lose to an FCS school week 0 is that's pretty bad
Well,
at
New
home.
Mexico, they did cover the spread. So I bet those kids, if they bet the spread, they should be happy at least.
Oh, the Lobos. Yeah, I guess the
Yeah.
Lobos covered the spread.
Holy smokes. I didn't know that the Lobos were that bad. So let's keep that in mind when we go to the ticket counter, right?
Yeah.
And then Nevada was actually plus 28. So they covered easily. So Nevada looks like they could be pretty good. I was going to live stream this game, but I got held up with family stuff. So SMU at Nevada. That was a pretty good game because this is SMU's first year in what, the Big 10, Big 12? What is that?
Big 12. They're in the Big 12.
Yeah, the Big 18 more like it, but whatever.
Yeah, yeah, like Big 20. If we're gonna be accurate, like 18 or 20.
Yeah, before we get into some of these games, let's check out some of these realignments because this is kind of interesting. What's championship subdivision? So they do have subdivisions. Bowl subdivision and championship subdivision. I don't know what the difference is, but still we got the ACC with the number one Yellow Jackets, the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets. They've always been there, but now you got SMU sitting at 1-0 with their win against Nevada. But
Well,
who else
Clemson
is
already, or not Clemson, Florida State lost. I think that's Clemson's division to lose. Because I know
don't
Duke or I don't know which. Because I know Riley Leonard, he was the Duke QB. He transferred.
yeah.
I
Where'd he
think he
go?
transferred to Notre Dame. But
Ooh,
I
yes, that's
I
right.
heard I know Miami. They have like talent wise, they have a pretty good team.
Don't they always though?
Yeah,
Stellar
that's
defense
the
and then
wrong.
they can't score.
Yeah, and they suck it up. and then
Exactly.
Stanford and Cal. I don't know what
That's
they're doing in that
interesting.
conference.
Yeah, and Stanford, I believe they open against TCU, but that doesn't make any sense because that's TCU. Well, I guess you don't go conference play till later on, but that's kind of
Yeah,
odd for Stanford to open against TCU. I don't know
yeah,
if they're
that's
going to
a
be any
tough game.
good.
I
Heck yeah.
think they would go against like a Irvine or a Sac State or someone local.
Exactly. Try to get some
Get a
kind of momentum.
you know, hey, you get a cupcake.
Exactly. Get your bearings going. But they're just going to jump into the fire, I guess, huh? What do you think about so then we got Stanford and Cal. I heard Cal's got a really good player this year. I think it's the
I think it's a
quarterback or
running back.
it's
Running
the
back. I
running
think
back.
it's a running back. Yeah.
Okay. Well, Clemson is ranked number 14 and then Florida State's number 10. So, wow. Wow. Do you think this does anything for the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets? Do you think this makes them ranked with a win over number 10? It has to, right?
They might. It's. I think it's just in general. It's a good like program win because it's like, oh, we beat Florida State,
Yeah. And the
but
ACC is pretty like non-consequential, they're pretty irrelevant, but
yeah,
they
well,
do
yeah,
obviously get a ticket.
yeah, because compared to the other conferences, the ACC, I'd say, is probably now that the pack, now that it's the Pac two, they're
Exactly.
probably the next conference to be like, oh, you're the irrelevant conference because even the Big 12 has they have some
How
teams
many
that are more relevant.
geez, you're going to get like two people out of the Big 12, and it'll be very interesting because do you think someone in the American Athletic or the WAC, or what do you say, the Mountain Conference, is
Mountain
going
West.
to Mountain West is going to have to go undefeated still, because to get into the top four you have to go
Well,
undefeated.
technically, well, technically, so the rules are the top four seeds are the
Uh-huh.
conference winners,
Yeah.
depending on the ranking, and then
Oh, okay.
5 to 12 is at large bids, and whoever is the best, like non Big Four conference, gets an
Yeah.
automatic bid. Which I
Oh,
was looking at all the stuff. It's probably going to be Liberty. They're probably going to
ooh,
get they're probably going to be undefeated and get that a large bid, and then it's everyone, all the other teams fight for the other what six, seven
interesting.
bids.
Yeah. Very interesting.
Yeah, because I
I,
saw because I did a little research. So I guess top four seeds they get buys, and then
okay.
5 to 12 they play each other, and then I guess it would be like five to
So here it
nine or
is.
whatever.
Yeah.
They get their playoff games. It's at their it's at their stadium, so they get home games.
Ooh.
So
Dang. That's pretty
that's
sweet.
something different. So if you're like a 5 seed, you're playing number 12. You know, you're Ole Miss.
Home.
You know, you're playing your first playoff game at home
Yeah.
against
So how
whoever the 12 seed is. So I like that. That's pretty sweet.
oh yeah, absolutely. That's gonna get a lot of money for those teams, right? That's gonna get a huge well, now how are the independents going to factor in? That's an interesting question because what if Notre Dame goes undefeated? You're still gonna. Why do these independents always mess everything up? Why don't they just join a stupid conference, right?
Well, I think they're in the same thing with the. I'm not sure, but I would assume they're in the same thing with the non-power four.
Yeah. So you got the Power Four, but it used to be the Power Five, right? But the Pac-12 is
Yeah, because
gone.
Pac-12's well, technically it's still there. They
No, no,
still
no, it's
identify
gone.
as a hey.
Yeah, and you
You can't
identify as a
tell.
woman.
They don't harass the Oregon State and Washington State. If they think they're still a conference, you let them be a conference.
Well, I don't care how good they are going to get. They're not going to get a free pass with the Pac-12 championship.
It doesn't matter. They if it's 2 or 12, let them identify as whatever they want.
How many conferences are there underneath the Power Four? So you got the American
Um,
Athletic, you
we
got
got the ACC, you got the
no, no, no.
SEC, Big Ten, and then Big 12.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. That's the Big Four. That's the Power Four. So they're all going to get one spot already. They're going to get a bye. But then you got the American Athletic. That's what I'm
Got the
trying to
MAC.
find out.
You
The
got the MAC.
Conference USA. The No, the MAC. Come on, they're not going to get a pass. You think a MAC team is going to get in? There's no
Well,
way.
I'm just telling you, it's
Okay,
it's
but
it's
then you
it's
got
the
the Mountain
MAC,
West.
the Mountain West. You
Yeah,
have
Sun Belt. Sun Belt. That's a
the
real
Sun
one.
Belt.
And then that's it because the Sun Belt has two divisions, but still.
You have
So
the AAC. The
I guess there's five. There's five.
Yeah, because that's where the AAC, the American Athletic Conference. That's where like Army and Memphis. Memphis is someone who could win it, or Tulane.
Yeah, yeah. Tulane could go undefeated. But the Sun Belt, James Madison, Appalachian State, one of those teams could make it. Troy's really good. Uh,
You have
that's
the Mid American Conference, which is like NIU or like Toledo. Toledo's the one that was, could win it. Them or like
yeah,
Ball State.
yeah. The Mid America, but they lost. Didn't they have SMU and some other players?
I think they did. They lost some. Everyone lost
No,
some people because of this whole realignment.
reorganization. Yeah, realignment. Yeah, exactly. But no, no, no. SMU was not in the Mid America. They were never in the MAC. I don't think they were in the MAC, were they?
I think SMU was in the AAC.
Yeah, yeah, it was the AAC. But the MAC is probably the weakest of all these divisions. The lower five. What do they call them? So they got the Power Five and what they got the mid majors or something.
It's the Power Four. Well, now it's the Power Four, and it's just
Yeah,
like I think they call them like the Group of Four, Group of Five.
yeah, the Group of Five. It's interesting. I'm just wondering if they'll even consider a MAC person. But I'm excited to see the first MAC games. On a Tuesday or something like that.
Well, it's whoever's highest ranked.
Hmm.
That's who gets the ranking, which it's
What?
probably going to be Liberty because I saw Liberty's schedule. They don't play anybody.
Oh, I see. Interesting. Liberty doesn't play anybody.
No, not really. The
Well,
problem
check
is,
out.
I think they played Oregon last year in the bowl game, and they
Yeah,
got freaking smashed on.
yeah, that does happen. Maybe some people, miss the game or something like that. I don't know if you can go exactly by the bowl game. Their bowl games aren't what they used to be. That's for sure. What do you think about Texas and Oklahoma joining the SEC? You think that's going to be good for them?
Um, for Texas to, Texas is Texas. I don't know about Oklahoma. That's going to be a little tricky.
Yeah, I don't know who they got at quarterback now. They've been through so many, and they usually pick up one But I don't know who they're going
Well,
with
that
this
at
year.
the guy that they was running freaking Oklahoma, he's at USC now, and
Yeah, what's
their
been there?
current coach he's a defensive guy, so it's like I don't know,
And they,
can he run the offense?
yeah, last year they were putting something together on defense for the first time in a long time. I saw Oklahoma play some defense, so maybe they're going to have to play some defense with this division. That's for sure. It's not going to be any
Oh, both
shootouts.
of
You're
them.
going to,
Yeah, both of them. They got to learn to play defense. That's why I think what's his name? The USC coach. What's his freaking name? It's
I don't remember Lincoln Riley.
Lincoln Riley. Yeah, that's why I think he left Oklahoma because he knew they were going to the SEC. He was like, I'm not
Yeah.
playing with that crap. Even then, like they're playing LSU week 1, right? I think it's either on like Sunday or Monday.
Ooh, that's brutal. I saw that and I was kind of like, oh my gosh, what is
But
going on? That's a brutal
he
schedule.
he wanted to cancel the game. He's like, oh, it's non-scheduled, it's non-conference. Let's can we cancel the game? LSU's like, no, we're not going to cancel the game. We're going to play you,
Wow.
and that's
Dang.
pretty bad because the game's in Vegas.
Oh, so it's neutral site and they're freaking out.
Not really. Neutral site. It's USC, LSU. You're the home team.
Obviously, USC is going to travel better, but it's not home, you know?
It's not that off of being home. You go to LA to Vegas. It's like a 2-hour drive.
Well, it's kind of like when you have it at a neutral site in Georgia for the Georgia versus, you know, Alabama game or something like that. Georgia versus, you know, I forget where they always do it in a neutral site, but yeah, it's kind of like that. They'll have it at the Georgia Dome instead of at the Georgia Stadium. What's it
Yeah,
called where
but
the Falcons play?
I think
Mercedes
it's called
Benz.
the Mercedes Dome or something like that.
Exactly, exactly. So it's kind of
But
like a home game, but both teams kind of go. They get like 50% of the tickets or something.
yeah, but you you're it's Vegas. You're LA. It's a home game, and you're scared. You're scared of LSU.
That's a tough game to come out to, man.
It
I don't
is.
blame them for being scared and trying to get out of that. And LSU is supposed to be really good this year. They're sitting at number 13, but I've heard a lot of good things coming out of that locker room, and I'm excited to see them. Now they
Yeah.
did lose their starting quarterback, but and they lost a couple of key positions. But
Well, freaking
look at all the
USC lost the same thing. They lost their starting quarterback. They lost a number
yeah.
1 pick.
Yeah, but they had a quarterback that was behind him that was pretty ready to go. I can't remember. Do you remember his name? The backup? No, or am I thinking of the Oregon guy? The Oregon guy was the backup who was like a number 1 prospect. That should be
No,
exciting to see him.
I think it's the US. I think you're thinking about the UCLA guy.
Hmm, maybe, but I know that the guy at Oregon who was backing up Bo Nix was a number 1 prospect, and he had been waiting for a while. So I don't recall his name, but he's supposed to be really good, and he's got a heck of a coach. But now they're going to a tough division. But look at all the rankings in this in the SEC. You got 5, 4, 1, 16, 13, 11, 6, 15, 20. Holy smokes. And then Kentucky, Florida, Auburn, just not even ranked. Wow. There's
Yeah, I
very
think
few bad teams.
yeah. Oh, I like Ole Miss.
Yeah. Yeah. Have you heard good things
Yeah.
about Ole Miss?
They got a good quarterback. I like Lane Kiffin, and they've done a good job of like recruiting and just like the transfer portal.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Well, do you see them possibly being a championship team this year or what?
I could see
It's
it.
about
Yeah.
time. I wonder.
I don't see Texas because I don't trust their coach.
Well, it's going
You
to
know,
be
I don't
very
think I don't.
difficult with the new format of the college football championship. I think you're going to. This is might be the year to pick like a underdog.
Well, the one underdog pick that if I had a pick
Yeah.
is I'd pick Penn State.
Oh yeah, that's right. They had a lot of up and coming players that were kind of that were ready to go, but just didn't make it over. Didn't have enough experience. Now they got that experience under their belt, and they're actually the journeyman on the field now.
Yeah, because I Penn State defense is always really good. They have a top 10
Okay.
defense. They always recruit. They always have elite talent. The only problem with Penn State is offensively they kind of lag. And
I
then
they gotta they okay, go ahead.
last year I thought Drew Aller was like, oh, he's a 5-star recruit. He's gonna play better, and he sucked it up. He was not that
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
But if he could, make that next step, like if Penn State's gonna be like, oh, you guys are just bums, or like, oh, you guys are like a top 5 team. It's because the
Yeah. Yeah.
quarterback, put the other. Cause I've seen him play. He has a big arm. He fits all the attributes.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. No, he was exciting to watch last year, and it made you think about Penn State because they were on nobody's board to do anything, and then they became a threat. But obviously, they got big leagued by the Ohio States and Michigans of the conference. So, I mean, but now you got the Washington Huskies. I don't know. They lost a ton of players, the Huskies.
They're
I don't
done.
know what
Yeah,
to I don't
I
know what to
I don't.
expect.
Yeah, I don't think the Huskies are gonna do anything. I don't think Michigan's gonna do anything.
Oof.
It's either Ohio State, Oregon, because they always have the recruits.
Or
It's
is it or is it these guys right here?
I think it's gonna be Oregon, Ohio State,
Smokes.
and Penn State. If I had to guess who makes the playoff from the Big Ten, I'd
Yeah.
pick those three.
I don't know,
And then
man. It might
Iowa. Oh,
it
you
might
can never bet on an Iowa game.
Yeah, that is very interesting for them to sit at 25. Did something happen? Did they did they find a quarterback in Canada or something? I don't know why they're ranked at 25. They shouldn't be ranked until they actually get to prove themselves. Did they recruit defense? Absolutely. Of course they did. Do they have the same coach? Yes. They have the same coach. It's nothing's changed. I will I can't believe that they're ranked 25. What have they done to earn a 25 ranking? I don't know.
Well, they're a top 25 team. They
I
just
really think so.
offensively they're just they suck.
Yeah, they're just a terrible team, and I'll have to see something out of them before they should be ranked. They should never be ranked unless you see something out of them that's positive. If they can score more than 14 points in their first game, then we can talk about them being in the top 25.
I wouldn't say
But
they're a terrible team. They play really good defense and really good special teams. They just don't play. They just don't play offense.
I don't know. That
Yeah.
to me, you can't be that bad at offense. Even when you play like the terrible teams, you can't score. It doesn't make any sense legally. I think that's a that's a
It's a
problem.
crime.
Yeah, yeah. I don't think that you should be able to call yourself a top 25 team if you can't score. I don't think there's any team like them that I can think of. Is there any team that's dominant on one side of the ball as much as I mean USC was pretty useless on defense, but even they picked it up. So, I don't know.
Probably not, but they're really good on special teams and defense now.
Yeah, their punters are phenomenal, that's for sure. But the Oregon Ducks, I told you, man, quarterback, defense, uh just everything. It looks like it's going to be a very good season for them, and hopefully it ends up at the end of the season we see a Ohio State Oregon matchup. That would be sweet.
Yeah, because this is basically if I had to say it's it's Ohio State's
To lose.
if they're gonna win a championship, this
Yeah.
is their year.
Oof. So let's see Oregon's schedule. I'm curious to see how that looks. So they got Idaho. All right, that should be a win. Even though Idaho's no joke, they're not a gimme. They've been working in the FCS for a long time and getting a good program, and they have a good program. Uh, Boise State, and they got a good program, huge program actually, and they don't have to travel so far. So that's upset possibly. Oregon State. Do you think there's any? Why would they be playing Oregon State so early in the season? Isn't that rivalry week? I guess not anymore.
Um, no, probably not anymore.
Wow. I don't think you can do that. So who's their rival? Washington? I guess so. Washington. Yeah. That makes sense in a way, but it just used to be Oregon State. So but
Well, they're
that was two pretty darn good games last year between Washington and Oregon. So I'm not mad about that.
well, even the Oregon State game was really good, but unfortunately, the Oregon State coach he went to Michigan State, so who
Yeah,
knows what how they're going to be this upcoming year.
exactly. So then they got UCLA, Michigan State. Who knows how good they'll be? Then Ohio State. Woo! Boy, oh boy. So they got Ohio State and Michigan on the schedule. Purdue, Illinois, Maryland, Wisconsin, and then end it with Washington. That's a very tough schedule.
Yeah,
You know what's interesting is that we were looking at the Michigan schedule earlier, and it doesn't look like they have that what they usually do because I guess Harbaugh's gone 5 cupcakes in a row. Boy, oh boy, did they
yeah.
make they didn't pay enough for their schedule, huh?
I just they they lost so much freaking talent, dude. It's just so hard.
Yeah, but
I
people want to play at Michigan, so I don't think you're going to have to worry about getting it.
well, who's their quarterback? It's the one guy who just runs, which is like I don't know if he's a good. It's the
Anthony Arnaud, Jaden Davis,
it's
who's the
orgy.
starter?
It's orgy. It's orgy.
Okay, Alex Orgy.
Something
Yeah, didn't
orgy.
he? Yeah, Alex Orgy. Didn't he come in last year? He came in for a little bit.
He came in for like a few plays, and from what I
Yeah.
saw, he just runs around. And like I said, like they lost. They 18 people went to the draft. They
Wow.
lost six. They lost six offensive linemen to the draft. You only start five of them.
Yeah.
So
But they
it's
got
a brand new offensive line. They lost, they lost their starting running back. They lost the receivers. It's just the
yeah.
amount of talent that they just lost, and they lost Harbaugh and whoever else he took to the Chargers.
I think Texas sustained their, but they keep the head coach who was actually in position to coach the team for some of last year. So that's got to be a benefit, right?
A little bit,
Yeah,
but
that's going to be
even
some
then, I'm like,
stability.
it's still like you lost a lot of crap, dude.
Now,
I I don't think they're gonna I don't think they're gonna make the playoff.
what do you think about Texas? They didn't lose a lot of talent, Texas, but the way they got destroyed by Washington last year, I don't even know what happened. That I thought that was a foregone conclusion that Texas was going to make it to the championship, right?
I didn't think that. I don't. I They have a lot of talent. They recruit well. They pay good. I don't like their coach.
Oof. They're ranked number 4, man. Gosh,
Because he's at Texas.
yeah,
Like like when Washington was gonna play Texas, I was like, oh, Washington is gonna win this game. I
yeah,
did not think Steve Sarkisian. I I don't think he's a great coach. He's a really good recruiter. He's at Texas.
yeah,
He knows what to do. But nah,
exactly.
I could. You know, that was
So
the one problem with the when Michigan played Bama. It's like,
yeah,
oh, Nick Saban versus Jim Harbaugh. I love Jim Harbaugh, but
yeah,
sometimes he gets cooked. And if there's
which is
someone that's gonna cook him, it's
yeah.
gonna be Nick Saban.
Oh man, Ohio State's looking forward to this rivalry game this year, finally to get some of that back. What did they lost the last 3?
Yeah, either the last 2 or 3, and then they have Will Howard, who I
Oof.
liked him at I think it was Kansas State.
Okay, yeah. I believe so. Yeah, he was
Yeah,
really good actually. He can
yeah,
run, he can throw. He commands the
he's an
position.
upgrade. Yeah, he's an
Absolutely.
upgrade over the dude they had before. It was like Kyle McCord or whatever
Didn't
the
he
heck
go to
his name
Notre
was.
Dame? Where did Kyle
No, he went
McCord
to
go?
Syracuse.
Oh gosh, he downgraded, but less pressure, that's for sure.
Yeah, but you go to Ohio State and you go to Syracuse. Yeah,
Oh, he's a
that's a big
hero there.
downgrade. Yeah,
Absolutely. Yeah, but
you weren't
let's
getting the job done at Ohio State. A lot of pressure.
yeah, exactly. But we got 20 minutes left. I wanted to kind of go over some of these games with you that start on Thursday, the 29th, which is a really good day to start it. Thursday is gonna some of the least exciting
That's
games.
that's I think August 29th. I think that's when Michael Jackson was born.
Is it? I didn't know that. How do
I think so.
you keep track of Michael Jackson's birthday?
I'm a big Michael Jackson fan, so yeah.
Oh man. Yeah, I don't know anything else going on the 29th, but yeah.
Yeah, I
Anyways,
think yeah, a bunch of child molesters were born that day.
well, I don't think we can
But
say that word, but yeah, thanks. I just got my spot back with YouTube, and you know what? Screw it. There's only like 5 people that watch the show, so did I tell
I'll
you I had to do a class?
for YouTube.
Yeah, for YouTube, they made me do a class where I had to answer questions, multiple choice. If I got it wrong, I had to do the question again, watch a video. Holy smokes. I didn't know I had to do that but they had me like blackballed or something like that. I was like, why am I getting like only like no views like I used to? And then I noticed that up in the corner it said you have to do this class. And so I did the class, and then they're going to give me back my total ability to get views in November. No, October. I'm sorry,
Jeez.
October. Yeah. So I did the class, then I get like 30 days where they kind of like, oh, you're good, boy. You're a good boy. You know what I mean?
Dude, what's
Yeah.
freaking wrong with them, dude? But
Yeah. That's pretty
man,
funny.
jeez. But so we're looking at Thursday games.
Yeah, we're looking at Thursday games. Enough of my shenanigans. So, what do you think about Howard versus Rutgers? Wait, where's Rutgers? Are they in the?
They're in Jersey. I think they're in the ACC.
Are
No,
they in the
actually, no.
ACC?
I think they're in the big. I think they're in the Big Ten.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, I don't like this because it's not giving me any spreads.
It's
Is what
spread.
I'm
Yeah,
thinking.
yeah. Let's go.
We're in that part of the show where we go ahead and look at the week ahead of us and tell you what bets to make and what bets not to take. So let's see what the college football week one has for us. So a lot of insignificant games that you probably want to stay away from and spreads that are huge because they're coming on. But I am very curious. There's this game that I like on Thursday, the North Dakota Bisons versus the Colorado Buffaloes. Do you have any idea about that one? Because this FCS team is notoriously good, and obviously the Buffaloes with Shador and Dion. What is your feel on that?
Um.
That's a tough
So
one, right?
so you like the you like North Dakota State?
Oh, of course, of course. Everybody likes North Dakota State. They're the home
Mm.
of yeah, what's his name? The guy that was picked number 5 in the draft or something. The 49ers traded up. I can't
Number three, and yes,
Yeah.
Carson Wentz, and you know
Yeah.
him. They had Trey Lance and Easton Stick had a
Yeah.
QB battle the other day in preseason.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Might as well.
Um, I don't.
But you got to think Colorado has figured it out, right? I mean, if you're talking about Colorado's basically a top tier team, they're not I don't think they're ranked, but they're fighting for that rank this year. They're not fighting for anything else. They got what? The second best quarterback in college football, debatably.
Um, I don't know if they got to figure it out, but they've had Dion has another year of recruiting, the transfer portal. You know,
Yep.
especially and like you said, they're supposed to have if his son, projects how he's supposed to do, that could be, top one, top two, like it's
Absolutely.
top it's a top 10 quarterback. And then Travis Hunter, they already said it's like, oh, that guy's a top 10 pick. You have
Yeah.
two top 10 picks.
Yeah, you should they should cover this 10 pretty easily. It's not a question. And if I lost that, I would I would I'd be
Yeah, like
surprised. I wouldn't feel
yeah,
bad
because
if I lost the minus 10. I mean, I don't think that's very hard. You probably want to buy it down to 9.5, but I don't think you need to.
yeah, do I think they're gonna win their conference? No, I don't. But can
No.
they beat North Dakota State by
Yeah.
11 points, double digits? Yes, I do think they will do, especially if you have the talent that everybody's saying. You have two elite NFL players
Exactly.
allegedly.
Yeah.
I don't know who's on North Dakota State's roster, but you should beat them.
Yeah. You probably got a ton of good players actually on North Dakota State who they just couldn't make it with whether grades or something like that. You got the second chance you kind of thing going there at North Dakota State. Great head. In fact, they should probably be pulled up to like I don't know, the the Mountain West or something like that. I don't see why not. They've been so dominant for so many years. But any idea about North Carolina Tar Heels versus the Minnesota Gophers? It's pretty close spread at -2. It's +2 for the home team, Minnesota. You got the sweater vest, and what do you think? What do you think about this team?
Well, the problem is, they had Drake May start the last 2-3 years, so
Yeah,
I have no idea who they're starting.
it's going
And
to be scary.
yeah, Minnesota, whoever's starting is he's basically going to be a rookie,
Yeah, yeah.
and then
He's pro-
Minnesota is like, whatever.
Well, they're not whatever. They're pretty steadfast with their defense, right? I mean, he's got them focused in on defense. They're going to be on point. They're going to have this rookie quarterback, and he's going to be looking at the Minnesota defense. That's going to be pretty scary. I think he'll be eaten alive. So with this +2, I would lean towards the +2. I'm taking the points. It's home. Minnesota's a well-disciplined team. I don't see any reason why Minnesota can't win. Obviously, the spread is close, so they're saying they can win. And the fact that you're getting points, just take it, right?
Yeah,
I mean, they didn't. North Carolina didn't really do anything defensively that was too impressive last year. It was just a shootout with Drake May. He's running all over the field and barely keeping them in games. And even then, he couldn't do it.
it was added, freaking because I bet on a bunch of freaking North Carolina games, and
Yeah, you messed
they let
up.
me down. Yeah, I was not happy with them.
Yeah. And now there's no Drake May. I mean, I just don't know. I'd have to see it to believe it. And if I lost with Minnesota and the +2 and a disciplined Minnesota team, because I know they didn't lose many positions. There wasn't a huge draft out of Minnesota. So you probably got a ton of seniors on that team. Give me Minnesota +2. In fact, give me Minnesota on the money line. I have no problem with that. I mean,
Yeah, I think
would that blow your mind? Would you just be like, oh my gosh, you know?
no, I could see it happening. The one thing I see is interesting is Kansas is -45 because Kansas
Ooh.
their offensive coordinator he went to Penn State,
Oh, that's really good.
so
So he just went to Penn State?
he was offensive coordinator at Kansas. He left and now he's at Penn State. So they have a brand new offensive coordinator. That's why I like the it's like, oh well, if he can unlock Drew
Yeah.
Aller, and because the problem with
Yes.
Penn State, the whole program is offensively they suck.
Exactly.
Defensively, they're really good. But if in Kansas last year, offensively was really good, but
Yeah.
you get I don't know how good of an offense coordinator he is, but Kansas was pretty good last year offensively, and then
Exactly.
you put you know you give him you put on Penn State with some good talent and with a quarterback who has the potential to be good. They
Absolutely.
could they could work out. That's why I like
Penn State,
that's
right?
yeah, I like Penn State. I don't know if they're
Yeah.
gonna win the championship, but if I had to look at odds of what their odds is to make the playoffs, I
Yeah.
I might bet it. I think they're gonna make the playoff over Michigan.
So they are ranked 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Number 8 to win the championship. So the odds +2,200. That's not bad. Throw it down if they catch fire, and they're actually good, and the Kansas State, no, Kansas offensive coordinator gets them humming, they could
Well,
win the division.
you know, he develops to, you know, like a top 5 quarterback.
Yeah.
It,
Yeah,
it all
he's
depends on the quarterback, you know.
absolutely, and he could be the best quarterback in college football. He's got that potential that they're all talking about. I mean, I don't know for sure. I have to see him play, and he's under this offensive coordinator and new plan, but this guy will really let him sling the ball as they did in Kansas, right?
Because when I watched all the Kansas games,
Oh,
they would sling it, dude.
I love it. I love it. Yeah, nonstop action, and that's what they've been lacking in Penn State for like what 100 years. When's the last time they had a quarterback that slung it?
Freak, dude. Probably the last guy that used to sling it was probably Sandusky.
All right. Well, that's the end of my YouTube. No, yeah, that's pretty funny. Yeah, you got me there. But okay, so look, you got Ohio State, Oregon, uh
Georgia, right? I assume Georgia's
well,
number 3.
well, I'm not saying Georgia because I'm saying who in the division has a better chance to win the championship. And so you have to go through Oregon and Ohio State, and those are legit programs that I mean,
Well,
Ohio
not
State just looks like they're
not
a
really.
juggernaut.
You
You
know,
don't think so?
no, because you could lose to them, and it's it's 12 teams get in.
But Ohio State just seems like the year you know, where you just knew Georgia was not going to lose a game 2 years ago. It just feels like that. You know, their team is just so packed and it's mature, it's talented, it's confident. Oh man, it's just got championship written all over this team. Now there could be some injuries and there could be some, maybe they don't play as well, but if they
Yeah,
just
but
play what they do plus what they added, whew, that's scary.
yeah, I'd say probably Ohio State they win the division, so they're like a 1 to 4 seed.
Yeah.
If you're Penn State, you just have to get in as like a 7, 8, 9,
I
10
don't
seed
think
and
so,
just
man. I don't think so. I think if you're Penn State, you have to beat Ohio State in the regular season. That's your Super Bowl. That's your Super Bowl. You beat them and you get that home field advantage. Or maybe you don't even have to play them. You know what I mean?
I'd rather if I was Penn State, I
Yeah.
would want to avoid them and have someone
Oh,
else knock them out because for
exactly.
some reason they can't beat Ohio State and Michigan. It's like their kryptonite. Uh,
Yeah.
I would have someone else in the bracket knock them out.
Yeah. If you don't if you don't win that regular season game against Ohio State, where is it? Do you know what it is? We were just checking it out, and I don't remember. But let me see. I don't remember. Oh, they're opening it.
Well, I don't think we looked at Penn State's
Maybe.
schedule.
Well, let me see. I'm looking at it right now. Let's see. So roster schedule. It's a good way to waste some time, but they play
Yeah.
them on at Penn State. There you go, bro. If they're
Oof.
legit, you got to dominate this game. And let's say you already took a loss to Oregon here, then this is a must win. You got to win one of those two games, obviously, or you're done. There's nothing else on the schedule that's worth it. Oh wait,
They play.
Ohio State. I was thinking this Penn State. Yeah, no. Ohio State should be fine. but that's a huge matchup with Oregon in what, week 5, week 6, something like that.
What's Penn State's schedule look like? Because
Let's see.
yeah, because they basically have like Nebraska and Purdue, Sanderson, which is
Yeah.
it's kind of biased.
Gosh dang, they already have this game at Penn State at plus 3.5 for the Lions. Dang. I think you got to jump on Ohio State there. But what do I know? So schedule, let's
Yeah, I
see.
could see it, dude. You know, freaking. Oh,
I
geez, they
mean,
got Wisconsin, Ohio State, and then
ooh, they
at
got a perfect schedule here, in my opinion, right? You got West Virginia,
so they're-
Bowling Green, bye week, Kent State, Illinois, UCLA, USC, Wisconsin. There's no real game until Ohio State. I don't think USC is like a on Penn State's level. Not even close. I think USC will be out of the top 25 by that time.
well, if you look at it, when they play USC to Wisconsin, they have a bye week.
Oh, do they?
Well, it's 14 days. It goes
Oh,
October
wow.
12th to October 26th. So they basically play at home against UCLA. Then they go to USC. They have a bye. They play Wisconsin at Wisconsin. And then they're at home against Ohio State and Washington.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Wow.
it's not a bad schedule. It's a pretty good schedule if
Yeah,
you're
that's
Penn
that's
State.
yeah, that's an excellent schedule for Penn State. They paid someone well. This is a notorious Michigan schedule right here. That's crazy. I mean, West Virginia could be good. Bowling Green, not on their level. Kent State, not on their level. Illinois plays defense pretty well. UCLA is kind of a mystery to me because they do have that quarterback that's supposed to be really good, and they could
Well,
be
they lost the
good.
quarterback. No, they lost him. He went to Oregon.
Oh, did they? Oh, he left UCLA for Oregon. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
okay,
I,
that's
I have
probably what
no
I'm
idea
thinking.
who the yeah, I have no idea who the who's starting for UCLA. So it's like they play at West Virginia. Okay, whatever. Bowling Green
Exactly.
by Kent State's
Yeah.
a cupcake. Illinois
Yeah.
should be a cupcake. UCLA should be a cupcake.
Yeah.
And then at USC, that's I guess the tough game, but you should beat them at
Exactly.
at Wisconsin. Tough
Yes.
game, but you should beat them. Ohio
Yeah.
State's a hard game, very hard game, and
And
they got
Washington's a hard
Washington.
game, but they lost so many
They
players. Who
lost
knows
so
what
many,
they'll be?
yeah,
They
so many
might be
players. Yeah,
destroyed by the time they even get to this game. They might be all messed up. They're not used to this kind of schedule. Closing off the show, and we're going to be coming back later on in the week. We're going to get the Friday picks, and we're going to give you the Saturday picks, and we're going to let you know, put something together, get you some kind of parlay as we start the college football season. And as I always say, don't bet your house money. Save your money if you want to bet on sports, but we got the locks for you. Here we go. Let's go. College football week 1. And we're out.